Hey feasters, and welcome to episode 110. Your personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Great words by Chris Ducker. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Ask Rezzz podcast. I'm Jason, and I'm here to help you get past those bumps in the road, those struggles, those things that hold you back from building an amazing and profitable freelance business each and every single day. And today's question comes by way of a coaching client of mine, and she asked me, how important is branding? Well, for a very, very long time, I didn't put much into branding, to be honest with you. And if you too are wrestling around with the idea that you don't need to think about your brand or this overarching theme of who you are and what your business is all about, I want to stop you right there. This episode will show you how important branding is to your freelance business. For a long time, I thought for me, the brand was just the logo. And since I didn't really have any money to allocate, or I thought I didn't have the money to allocate to getting a logo designed, I oftentimes just designed my own, which probably was the worst thing you can do, at least from my perspective, because, well, I'm not a designer. But this was very much the way I did branding for my business from about, 1999 to, sad to say, 2015. Now, before I jump into the story and show you how important branding is for your business, can I give you a customized Ask Rezzz playlist? Can I answer just the questions that you may have right now? If so, then head on over to askrezzz.com and drop in your name and email address. I promise to never spam you. I am not that kind of person. I generally just want to give you a hand-picked playlist of Ask Rezzz episodes that fits for you and your business. Now, story time. In 2014, I started to pay a bit more attention to the details of some of the people and businesses that I followed, admired, and respected. I noticed that everything that they did, from their website design, logo, social assets, and even the physical side of their business, things like notebooks and mugs and hats, as well as even wristbands. And I started to pay a little bit more attention to it because I felt at that time I was hitting a bit of a plateau. Maybe I wasn't recognizable, and just some things that were going on inside my own head that I thought would help if I did pay attention to these things. I want to ask you a couple of questions. Why is the red from Manchester United or the navy blue from the New York Yankees so widely recognized? Why is the Nike swoosh so recognizable and effective? And if you don't think so, my 1-year-old son points to this logo, the Nike swoosh, anytime my wife and I wear Nike apparel, and says, swoo. So it's definitely an effective branding asset of theirs. These things are all a part of branding: logo, colors, how you present yourself to the world. When you see them outside of their normal context, it puts everything right back into context. In 2015, I decided to hire Megan Gray of houseofgrays.com for the branding of my company. I gave up the reins and gave her complete creative control of all things Jason and Rezzz. She put me through this process to unpack who I was, what my company was, who I help, and all things that made me and my company. What came out in the end is the brand Rezzz, the website which 3 years later still gets compliments very, very often, a logo that's able to be used on all sorts of assets, both digitally and physically, a typeface that's recognizable to my brand, and an overall look and feel with imagery that, when in the wild, people know it's Rezzz. I didn't know it then what sort of impact this would have on my business, but looking back over the past 3 years, it's done 5 things for my freelancing. 1, it took a lot of the decisions away from me when it comes down to imagery, text, font, and all these other things. 2, it's elevated my level of professionalism. 3, it sets a tone that branding is important for my business. 4, there's this thought process to what I do, and that then translates down to what I do for clients. And 5, it allows me to stand out in a crowded market. If you want to be charging clients for your premium services, you have to be premium, which means you can't just throw spaghetti at the walls and see what sticks. That's what I did for a long, long time. Send the message that you know what you are doing, especially if you're a designer or calling yourself a branding expert. Make sure that your company exudes this as well. Branding is very important in freelancing, whether you're a developer, a designer, a marketer, a writer, anything. Standing out in a crowd of other freelancers is hard, but when you have a brand and a way to be front of mind with leads, clients, past clients that puts your brand out there, it's going to make an impact. A past client or lead won't say, let's just go to Upwork. They'll be saying, wait a second, I know someone. Let me dig up their name, because your branding stuck out in their mind. If you have a question, ask Rezzz. That's me, by leaving me a tweet at Rezzz at Twitter, or going to askrezzz.com and using the little chat bubble in the bottom right-hand corner and ask your question. I'll be happy to answer it, as well as maybe bring you on the show and answer your question on the show. Until next time, it's your time to live in the feast.